If you've ever Googled how much do I need to retire, you've likely come back with a number that's got 6 zeros on the end, and I want you to forget about it for now. For most people, that £1 million figure is nonsense. It's built to scare you, but what it really does is make you want to give up. I'm Andrew Dorr. I'm a regulated financial advisor. I sit down with people all the time talking about retirement and their future. For most people, that £1 million number is nonsense because there's no single figure that fits everyone. Because there's no perfect retirement. And there's no version of this where you don't make a trade-off somewhere. The honest answer is it depends, and it's unique to you. And over the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what it depends on, how to ballpark your number. You might have earned well, you might have worked hard. This isn't about scaring you, it's about giving you a target you can actually aim for and the retirement you actually want on your terms, because no one's going to come work this out for you. Not your bank, not your employer, not your government. It's on you, and that's the good news because it means yours to control. This is general education, not personal advice, so let's get started. First, why that £1 million headline is rubbish for most people. It sells fear, and fear gets clicks, but that number that fits someone who wants cruises and a place in the sun is nothing like the number of someone happy with a paid off house and a couple of holidays every year. Same question, they're completely different answers. The headline ignores everything that makes the situation in retirement yours. So 3 things I'll cover. What enough actually costs in real money, the simple sum to ballpark your own number, and the one trade nobody escapes. Stay to the end for the last one because that's the bit the industry won't say out loud. If you take one thing from this video, take this. Don't chase the pot. Work back from the life you want. The pot is the last thing you work out, not the first. Decide the life you want, price it up, take off what's already paying for it, and your number falls out of that. So what does enough actually cost? There's solid research on this, and it's called the Retirement Living Standards, and it splits retirement into 3 tiers. Minimum is about $13,400 a year for one person. That covers the basics, but no car. Moderate is about $31,700, more security and a bit more flexibility, a car, couple of holidays. And comfortable is about $43,900, more luxuries, regular holidays, a bit to help the family. For a couple, it's roughly $21,600, $43,900, and $60,000. Be honest with yourself and pick your line. That is your target income, and it's the foundation for everything else. Now, the good news, you're not starting from zero. The full new state pension is now about £12,500 a year, a guaranteed income for life. And the part people really undervalue, it rises every year under the triple lock. That means it goes up by the highest of 3 things: average earnings, inflation, or 2.5%. This April, for instance, it rose almost 5%. So it's protected against the cost of living in a way that almost no private income is. To buy that kind of rising guaranteed income yourself, it would cost a small fortune. And for a couple with 2 full records, that's just over 25 grand a year, which gets you past that minimum standards on its own. One honest caveat: the triple lock is a government policy, not a law of nature. Its future gets argued over at every single budget, so don't bank on it lasting forever in exactly this form. Either way, check your state pension forecast on gov.uk. 2 minutes and make sure you're on track for the full amount. And the big one, the headlines completely ignore. If you've got a defined benefit pension, a final salary, or a career average scheme, such as through the military, NHS, civil service, teachers, that is gold. It pays you a guaranteed income for life on top of the state pension. So if a DB pension pays you, say, 15 grand a year, plus your state pension, you're most of the way there to a comfortable retirement before you've even touched a penny of your own savings. That's why 2 people on identical salaries can need wildly different pots. And never give up or transfer a DB pension without proper advice. They're worth far more than people realize. So the sum you could do tonight: step 1, your target income from those tiers. Step 2, take off your guaranteed income, whether that's the state pension plus any DB pension. What's left is the gap your own pot has to fill. Step 3, a rough rule of thumb: multiply that gap by about 25. That's your ballpark pot. 25 comes from drawing down of roughly 4% a year. There's a massive caveat: it's a rough guide, not a gospel. It ignores tax, and your pot is invested, so it can fall as well as rise. Markets don't hand you a tidy 4% every year. but as a starting point, it does work. So let's make it real. Say you want 35,000 a year on your own, somewhere between moderate and comfortable. Your state pension covers around 12.5 grand, so your own pot needs to provide the other 22,500 a year. Times 25, that's a ballpark around 560 grand, not a million. And even with a modest DB pension on top, it drops fast. Add a DB pension paying 8,000, and your pot only has to cover around 14,500 a year, which brings that ballpark down to around 360 grand. Same target, it's a very different pot, just because of what's already paying you. Now, this is the urgent part, compounding. Redirect £300 a month from today at assumed 6% a year, and over 25 years, it grows to around £208,000. If you wait 10 years and put the same 300 in for 15 years instead, you end up with around £87,000. Same monthly amount, less than half the result. That decade you waited cost you over £100,000. Every year you put this off, that trade gets harder. You lose your best year, not your worst. 6% is an assumption, not a promise, and your capital is at risk, but the lesson holds. Time is the one thing you can't buy back. That rule of thumb gets you in the right postcode. The real answer, the gold standard, is cash flow modeling. It's what I do with people. We map out every year of your retirement, the income coming in and the spending going out, and we watch whether your money lasts down, and we watch whether your money lasts past your life expectancy, with a margin so you don't run out. And this is what I see when we run it for the first time. Most people are a bit shocked. They realize that cruising along, not really looking at it, hasn't put them where they assumed. And almost everyone says the same thing. I wish I'd started earlier. A few of them are reassured, not many. But a gap isn't a disaster. It's just information. Once you can see it, you can act on it. Now, there is a bit nobody in the industry says out loud. There is no perfect retirement, and there's no way to get to a good one without sacrifice. It's very binary. You either sacrifice some money on the way there by putting away more now, or you sacrifice your standard of living now, or you sacrifice your standard of living once you're there by having less to live on. There is no in between. There is no clever trick to get you out of this trade. And the honest bit, and the very human bit as well. Most people won't give up today's lifestyle, even when you show them in black and white that it costs them far more later. So the real decision was never the number, it's the trade. How much of it today are you willing to swap for tomorrow? Let me save you from the 3 mistakes I see the most. 1, cruising. If you assume it'll be fine, never actually checking, that's the one that ends in a shock at 58 and 67. 2, guessing instead of modeling, or worse, taking that scary £1 million headline at face value and either panicking or giving up. 3, seeing the gap and then doing nothing, because changing today feels harder than worrying about tomorrow. The fix for all 3 is the same. Face the numbers early. So what do you do this week? 3 things. 1, decide your target income. Be honest with yourself, use those tiers and pick the life you actually want. Be prepared to sacrifice. 2, find what's already paying for it. Check your state pension forecast and dig out every pension you've got, including the old ones from the job you've left. 3, do the rough sum. Your target income minus guaranteed income times 25. Now you've got a ballpark and starting point. You don't have to aim for perfect. You won't get a perfect number tonight, and you don't need one. Aim to get started. So let's bring it home. There's no magic number and there's no perfect retirement. There's the life you want and the trade it takes to get you there. Work out your number, then decide what it's worth to you. No one is coming to do this for you. And I'll say it one more time because it matters. That is the good news. It means it's in your hands. So start planning. Today, not next year. And if this is a big decision for most people approaching retirement, it's the biggest one of your financial life, and you want it done properly, a real cash flow model built around your pensions, your DB schemes, and your tax, that's exactly what I do. Reach out, the link's below, and we'll work out your number together. Next video, I'm answering the question everyone wants. Can you actually afford to retire early? And I'll see you there. And remember, this was general education, not personal advice.